Ethan Cole stood in the middle of the great hall of Valora Prime. His suit was simple, dark blue, and neatly pressed. Around him, hundreds of alien delegates moved in their strange ways, their eyes glowing, their skin shimmering in colors he had never seen before. The hall was enormous, filled with light and sound that vibrated through the polished floors. Every species of the Galactic Union had sent a representative. The room was silent as the vote was about to begin. Ethan could feel the weight of Earth on his shoulders. For the first time in history, all nations of Earth had come together and agreed on one voice. That voice was his. For decades, humans had reached out to the galaxy with messages of peace, with offers to trade technology, with ships carrying food and medicine. And yet here he was, about to hear whether Earth would be allowed to join the Council of Planets. The head of the council, a tall, thin alien with skin like polished amber, floated above the central platform. Its voice was soft but sharp, echoing in every corner of the hall. The representatives of Earth have applied for membership. The Council has reviewed your history, your actions, and your intentions. We will now vote. Ethan nodded slightly. He had prepared for this moment. He had practiced the words he would say, the calm smile he would wear, the steady voice he would keep. He had to show confidence. Humans were small in the galaxy, and yet they were clever. He wanted the Council to see that humans were not primitive, not dangerous, but worthy. Votes were cast. Alien voices rang out one by one. Some were friendly. Others were cold, almost sneering. Ethan could hear whispers in their languages. Words like barbaric, reckless, and primitive floated through the air. It was as if the galaxy still remembered humans' early wars and mistakes. He felt a tightness in his chest, but he did not move, did not flinch. When the final vote was tallied, the result came in. The head of the Council's voice rang through the hall. The application of Earth is rejected. The planet Earth is denied membership. A silence followed, heavy and deep. Ethan's heart sank. He had expected rejection. He had prepared for it. But the words still cut deep. He looked around at the delegates. Some nodded, some whispered. A few looked at him with what might have been pity. The galaxy thought it had seen humanity's limits. The Council thought it had kept humans in their place. Ethan swallowed hard. He kept his face calm. He smiled slightly, even though inside his mind was racing. He thought of Earth. He thought of the millions of people who had hoped for this day, who had believed that humans could join the galaxy as equals, and he thought of the aliens who underestimated them. As the session ended, Ethan left the hall. He walked through corridors filled with light and sound, past guards and assistants, past delegates talking in strange tongues. Outside, the city of Valora Prime stretched for miles, shining with white towers and floating gardens. Ethan looked up at the sky. Ships from hundreds of planets moved slowly above, all carrying ambassadors, all carrying messages, all carrying eyes that had just judged his home. When he returned to his quarters, he did not sit. He paced. He called Captain Laura Brooks, commander of Earth's first interstellar fleet. She was already waiting. Her face was calm, but her eyes showed the same anger and determination Ethan felt. They think they can decide our place in the galaxy, Ethan said quietly. They think we are small, that we are weak. Laura shook her head. They don't understand us. They never have. But they will. Ethan looked at her. He knew she was right. Humanity had survived much worse than this. They had survived wars on their own planet, plagues, disasters, and countless mistakes. And now the galaxy thought it could hold them back with a single vote. What do we do? He asked. Laura smiled slightly. We build. We prepare. We wait. When the time comes, we will show them that humans do not need permission to exist among the stars. Ethan nodded. He felt a spark of hope. It was small, but it was there. The galaxy thought it had silenced humanity. It had not. Not yet. In the following weeks, Ethan returned to Earth. He met with leaders from all nations, from small islands to the largest countries. He spoke quietly without revealing the full plan, but everyone understood the meaning. Humans would no longer wait for the galaxy to decide their fate. They would create their own path. Meanwhile, Laura Brooks gathered her fleet. Ships of all sizes, from small scout ships to massive carriers, were prepared. Engineers, scientists, and soldiers worked together, building technology that would make humans independent, even powerful. They developed engines that could travel faster than any alien ship had ever seen. They trained crews in ways that no alien military would expect. In secret, Earth began reaching out to other planets. not to beg for membership, but to find those who were ignored, treated unfairly, or left behind. They formed quiet alliances, small at first but growing. Humans did not promise to take over. They promised to protect, to help, and to share. Ethan worked with diplomats, scientists, and military leaders. He studied every alien language he could learn, every trade rule, every council procedure. He knew the galaxy's strengths and weaknesses. He knew that humans could be underestimated, and they would use that to their advantage. Laura led the first missions beyond the solar system. Her ships explored asteroid belts, distant moons, and abandoned colonies. They mapped routes that no alien had seen. They tested new weapons and shields. But more than that, they helped planets in need. A small colony on the edge of Union space was suffering from a famine. A human ship arrived with food and medicine. The colony celebrated the humans as heroes. Reports spread quietly to the Union. Humans were no longer waiting to be recognized. They were becoming a presence not through force but through action. Small steps, unnoticed at first, but building towards something much larger. Ethan often sat in the observation deck of the Earth Embassy on Valora Prime before he left. He watched the stars, the ships, the planets. He remembered the Council's words, the rejection, the whispers, and he promised himself that Earth would not be denied again. Not a seat, not a voice, not respect. The galaxy thought humans were quiet, patient, and slow to react. That was true. But patience was not weakness. It was preparation, and humanity had learned how to wait. Every day, Earth grew stronger. Every day, humans learned more. Every day, they reached out quietly to allies, building technology, mapping the stars, preparing for the moment when the galaxy would see them not as a primitive species, but as equals. Ethan and Laura met often to discuss the future. "They think we are small," Laura said one evening as they watched the sun set over Earth. "They will see soon enough that we are something else entirely." Ethan smiled. "It is not enough to prove them wrong. We have to prove ourselves right. Not with war, not with anger, but with action, with results." With unity, Laura nodded. "Then we begin, slowly, quietly, and when the time comes, we will act. The galaxy will not know what hit them." And so humans began their quiet work. They built fleets, they explored space, they reached out to the forgotten and the ignored. And they waited. They waited because patience was their weapon, and the galaxy had yet to see the full strength of Earth united. The Council may have denied a seat, but humanity had not been silenced. Ethan knew one thing clearly. The galaxy would remember this moment not as the time humans were rejected, but as the time they began to rise. And when the time came, Earth would not ask for permission. Earth would take its place. Every night, Ethan looked at the stars and imagined the future. A galaxy where humans were not just accepted but respected. Where humans were not just participants but leaders. Where humanity had a seat, and if necessary, the whole table. And somewhere deep inside, a quiet fire burned. Not anger, not hate, but determination. The kind that would take decades, maybe centuries, to fully realize. But it would. The galaxy would see, and humans would be ready. For years after the Council's rejection, the galaxy seemed to forget about Earth. Alien ships passed the solar system without much notice. Messages from Earth were rare, and trade with other planets slowed. To the Galactic Union, it looked as if humanity had accepted its place. Small, quiet, and unimportant. But that was far from the truth. Behind the red dust of Mars, in the deep caves under Earth's oceans, and in secret space stations hidden among asteroids, humans were preparing. They were building, training, and learning in ways the galaxy could not imagine. Captain Laura Brooks walked through the shipyard on Luna. The place was enormous, filled with the hum of machines and the heat of welding torches. Hundreds of engineers and pilots moved through the corridors, working with careful precision. Every ship was different, each one designed to be faster, stronger, and smarter than anything the Union had ever seen. Samantha Lee, a young engineer with bright eyes and steady hands, came running to Laura. "Captain, the new hyperfold engines are ready for testing," she said. "They can travel farther than any Union ship in the same time." Laura smiled. "Good, prepare a test flight. I want a full report within 24 hours. Ethan Cole visited the shipyard that afternoon. He watched as humans worked quietly but with purpose. Every face showed determination. Every hand moved with skill. Every mind thought 2 steps ahead. "They don't know what we're doing," Ethan said to Laura. "They think we're small, that we've given up." Laura shook her head. "They underestimate humans. That is their mistake. They never learn. Humans did not seek recognition. They did not send messages to the council. Instead, they explored the stars on their own terms. Small scout ships traveled beyond Jupiter, mapping asteroid belts and unknown moons. Engineers tested weapons and shields that could withstand attacks from fleets twice the size of Earth's. Pilots trained in zero gravity, learning to maneuver with precision that alien ships could not match. Meanwhile, Ethan worked quietly with diplomats from Earth and other minor planets. He negotiated secretly with small colonies that were ignored or mistreated by the Union. He offered trade, protection, and guidance. Slowly, quietly, alliances formed. These planets were small and scattered, but they had resources and ships. They were willing to join a human-led alliance because humans had proven they could be trusted. The work was not easy. Some planets were afraid to trust Earth. Some aliens still remembered old stories of human wars. Ethan and Laura never pushed. They only offered help and action. Results, not words, were humanity's language. On one distant colony near the edge of Union space, a crisis unfolded. A pirate gang had attacked, stealing food and medicine. The colony's leaders sent a desperate message hoping for Union aid. None came. Then a small human fleet appeared. Ships glided from the darkness of space, black and silent, with engines that hummed like wind. Pilots carefully avoided destroying the pirate ships. Instead, they cut off escape routes, forcing the criminals to surrender. Supplies were returned to the colony. Civilians cheered as human crews worked with calm efficiency. When Union scouts arrived a week later, they found no trace of human ships. Only the grateful colony remained with a message for the Union. Earth Security Command protects those who cannot protect themselves. The galaxy began to notice, quietly. Reports reached Valora Prime and other council worlds. Aliens whispered about humans appearing where they were not expected, helping colonies that were forgotten and leaving no evidence behind. Back on Earth, Ethan and Laura met in a control room overlooking a holographic map of the solar system. Lines of light traced the routes of secret fleets and hidden colonies. "They are noticing," Ethan said. "Union scouts have seen our activity near the outer planets. They are asking questions. They will start sending ships soon." Laura nodded. "Let them. They will see our fleets and they will think they are too late. By the time they understand, humans will be ready." Samantha Lee joined them carrying a small model of a new ship. "We've completed the design for the next fleet. With these engines, we can reach colonies in hours instead of weeks. And the shields are strong enough to survive a full Union bombardment." Ethan studied the model carefully. "Good work, Samantha. This is the start of something bigger, not just for Earth, but for every planet that has been ignored or mistreated." Over the next several years, Earth's secret fleet grew. Ships of all sizes were built. Some were fast scouts. Others were massive carriers capable of holding thousands of soldiers and supplies. Every crew was trained to think ahead, to act quickly, and to work together. Humans also studied alien technology. They did not copy it, but learned from it, then improved it. Weapons became more precise. Shields became stronger. Communication systems allowed fleets to move silently and avoid detection. Ethan continued to negotiate with potential allies. Some were small planets with limited resources. Others were independent colonies abandoned by the Union. They joined quietly, bringing ships, supplies, and loyalty. The alliance grew slowly but steadily. The galaxy still thought humanity was patient and weak. They saw Earth as a small blue planet, far behind in technology and influence. But humans were no longer waiting. They were building power, knowledge, and allies in secret. One evening, Laura Brooks stood on the bridge of the largest ship in the fleet. Stars moved past the viewport as scouts returned from missions to distant colonies. Messages arrived from planets thanking humans for protection and aid. "Every colony we help makes us stronger," she said to Ethan, who stood beside her. "Every alliance we form builds a network the Union cannot ignore." Ethan nodded. "They think they control the galaxy. They do not. Humans never need permission to act. They just need courage and patience," Laura smiled. "Then we have both." As Earth's fleets grew, they also explored new technologies. Scientists discovered ways to travel faster than known hyperdrives. Weapons became precise enough to disable ships without destroying them. Shields could withstand multiple attacks from larger fleets. Samantha Lee led a team that tested a new type of engine capable of folding space. It allowed ships to jump vast distances in moments, bypassing Union patrols and avoiding detection. "We are not preparing for war," she said to Laura one night. "We are preparing for survival. And if the time comes, we will act to protect those who cannot protect themselves." The plan was clear. Humans would not ask for a seat at the galactic table again. They would build their own table. And when the time came, everyone would be invited. Meanwhile, alien spies reported strange activity near Earth and the asteroid belts. The Union sent scouts to investigate, but humans were careful. Ships moved silently, hiding in the shadows. Technology allowed humans to remain unseen while their fleets grew. "Let them look," Laura said. "The galaxy will see soon enough, and they will be shocked." Humans also trained diplomats and leaders. Ethan taught them how to negotiate, how to form alliances, and how to communicate with alien species. Humans learned languages, cultures, and customs. They did not imitate aliens. They understood them. Slowly, the galaxy began to whisper about Earth. Stories of humans appearing out of nowhere, saving colonies, and building hidden fleets spread quietly. Some laughed at the stories. Others grew nervous. No one knew the full truth. Back on Earth, Ethan watched children play in parks under the sun. He smiled. Humanity was patient. Humanity was clever. Humanity was preparing. And one day the galaxy would see the result. "Are we ready?" Laura asked, standing beside him. Ethan looked at the stars. "Not yet, but we will be. And when the time comes, humans will not ask for permission. We will show the galaxy what Earth can do." Years passed and the secret preparations continued. Ships were built faster, alliances grew stronger, and technology advanced beyond what the Union imagined. Humans were patient, quiet, and invisible, but always moving forward. Every mission completed, every alliance formed, every ship built, brought humanity closer to its goal. The galaxy did not notice, but humans were ready. They were preparing to take a place not just at the table, but in the galaxy itself. And one day, the moment would come when the galaxy would look at Earth and see not a small, ignored planet, but a force that could not be denied. Ethan smiled, watching fleets move silently across the stars. "We are ready," he said. "And when the time comes, the galaxy will understand. They will see that humans do not wait. Humans act, and we will act together."